Hey, this is Mike from Inputflow, and in this video I'm going to show you everything you need to know about the Inputflow Elements Manager. You can find the Elements Manager by clicking on the apps icon and then launching Inputflow. And once you've done that, by default Inputflow starts up in the Elements Manager. If you're not inside of the Elements Manager right now, if you're for example inside of the form editor, you can always go back to the Elements Manager by clicking this Elements menu link at the top, and then the Inputflow app switches back to the Elements Manager. Now, what is the Elements Manager? The purpose of the Elements Manager is to connect your form elements to Inputflow so that Inputflow can recognize them and work with them later in the form editor and also on the live website. So that's the whole purpose of it. You can think of the Elements Manager like a setup assistant. And we're now going to go through all of the steps together. The first thing that you always have to do with the Elements Manager is select your Inputflow form. You can either select the form block or the form itself, doesn't matter. And then you have to connect this form to Inputflow. And you can do that by clicking on Connect. As you can see here, it says connect this form with Inputflow, and as soon as you click Connect, you get this message, success, form is now connected to Inputflow. So this is what you want to get. And if at any point in time you want to disconnect the form, if you don't want it to be managed by Inputflow anymore, you can click on Disconnect. This is also useful if you want to completely reset a form. You can click on Disconnect and then yes, disconnect the form. And then if you connect it again, then the form is a completely new form and the configuration of the old form is gone, just as a little side note. Okay, but for now we just leave it as connected. This is what you will do in 98% of the cases. The next thing that we have to do now that the form is connected is we have to connect all of our form steps to Inputflow. And as you can see right here on this page, I already have a form, a very simple form, a solar investment calculator. And here all of the different steps are stacked below each other. And obviously on the live site, once the page is loaded, Inputflow will only show the steps one by one up here at the top so that it will look really good. But now in the designer, they are all stacked below each other to make them manageable so that we have everything at one glance. Okay, so I select the first step. So this is the this one right here, the welcome step. And as you can see, whenever I select an element, I get these options right here. Inputflow gives me a couple of options what I can do with the selected element. In this case, I can turn the selected element into a step, an error message, a next button, and a back button. In this case, I just want to turn it into a step, so I click the step button. Then I have to enter a step name. In this case, I think I'm going to call it first step. And then click on create step. And then I get the message successfully created new step called first step. Perfect. Okay, so I'll select the second step. The total cost of your system is what I want to know here. I turn it into a step as well. And I name this step, let's say total system cost. And I click on create step again. Successfully created new step called total system cost. And it is really important that for each of these steps, you think a few moments about a really good and descriptive name for that step, because we're going to need these names later when we set up the actual multi-step functionality. You don't need to remember the names, but it has to be something descriptive so you can recognize them later. Okay, let's go to the third step. So the third step is this one right here. This is the, as you can see, the peak power production step. I want to know how much power does the user's or website visitor's solar panels produce. So I select the step wrapper, the div block that represents the step, click on step, and I name it power production. Create step. And let's also do that for the other steps. This one right here, how many hours of sunlight does the user get per day at their location. Hours of sunlight is what I'm going to name the step, create step. And the same thing for this step here, local electricity price. I'm going to just name this electricity price. Create the step. And then the final step where the user gets their results, how long it takes for the solar system to pay for itself. I'm going to select this step, click the button and name it results. And create this step as well. Successfully created new step called results. Perfect. At any point in time, you can click on a step element that has been connected to Inputflow and rename it. For example, if I want to have, let's say, this step right here, the hours of sunlight, if I don't want to call this hours of sunlight, but for example, sunlight hours, I just click on it, type out the new name and click on rename step. And then it says successfully renamed step, new name is sunlight hours. So that is what you can always do. And if you at any point in time want to remove or disconnect a step from Inputflow, just click on the step and then click on remove attributes, and then it's going to disconnect the step as well. So before we connect all of the other elements to Inputflow, the other important elements, let's quickly take a look at what happens here in the background. Because what the Elements Manager does is it adds some attributes to these elements. So if we take a look, for example, at this first step right here, the solar panel investment calculator, which is the first step, this is the name that we gave it. And if we go to the settings of that element, you can see inside of the custom attributes, Inputflow added two attributes. First of all, Inputflow added an ID. This is just a random generation of characters. if-id is the attribute, and it added a if-step attribute with the name of the step. In this case, the name is first step. You don't have to worry about these attributes. You don't have to change them. You don't have to modify them. You don't have to keep track of them. Just do not delete or edit them. Just keep them as they are, and Inputflow will do all of the management of these attributes, okay? And the same holds true, by the way, for all of the other elements that we're about to connect to Inputflow. They are also managed by these attributes and also input fields. For example, these input fields have a custom ID attribute that is automatically generated by Inputflow, but you don't have to worry about that. And just to show this to you, obviously also the form, if I click on the form, also has a custom Inputflow ID. But this happens automatically once you connect these elements. Okay, let's keep going. We're now going to create our next buttons. So the next buttons are all buttons that once a user clicks on them, they are redirected to the next step of the multi-step form. So let's start with this first button right here, this big Get Started button. I click on it and then turn selected element into a next button. Turned element into a next button is the message that I get. Perfect. Let's also do this for this button inside of the next step, turn it into a next button. And this one also turn it into a next button. And I think for all of the other buttons, I've already done it so that we don't take up too much time here. Yes, as you can see, if I click this, it already says selected element is a next button. The same holds true for the back button. So whenever a user clicks a back button, they go back to the previous step as the name suggests. So here I have my first back button. I click on it, turn selected element into a back button. And this one I also want to turn into a back button. And this one I've already turned that into a back button as a preparation for this video so that it doesn't take us too long. Okay, now we've connected our buttons. Now there's only one more thing left that we have to connect here, and these are our error messages. So whenever a user enters some invalid data into an input field later on the live website into the live form, and we have a validation set up inside of the form editor, the validation error message will be displayed in these error elements. And in this case, for this form, I styled them yellow because it goes well with this solar panel theme, but obviously you can style them however you want. No matter how you style them, the important thing is that you actually connect them to Inputflow so that you tell Inputflow, these are your error elements and this is where you want to display the error message. To do this, just click on the error element and then turn selected element into an error message and turned element into an error element. Perfect. Let's do this for the other error elements as well. Turn selected element into error message and this one as well. And I think this one I've already connected. Yes, all of the other ones I've already connected. And now we have successfully connected all the necessary elements to Inputflow. and we can work with them now inside of the form editor. So the next step, and I'm going to go into more detail here in the next video, the next step would be just to publish your entire Webflow project to your staging domain, to your webflow.io domain. And once you've done that, you switch to the form editor and you can load your input elements into Inputflow. And as you can see now inside of the form editor, all the elements that we just created, all of the steps elements that we set up and connected with the Elements Manager are now visible inside of the sidebar, and we can start to work with them. We can drag them onto the canvas, we can connect them, and so on and so forth. This is something I go more into detail in other videos. This video was all about the Elements Manager, and now you know how it works. Now there's one last thing or one last question that you might ask yourself. But wait a minute, we connected so many elements to Inputflow, but we did not connect any input elements. So we did not have to connect these input fields, these number inputs to Inputflow at all. Why is that? Well, the reason for that is Inputflow connects these input elements automatically. So whenever you make a change to your form, Inputflow tracks that change and it looks at all of the input elements. And whenever an input element changes or a new input element shows up, then Inputflow automatically tags this input element with a custom ID. So the if-id attribute and a randomly generated text as the ID. So you don't have to worry about connecting your input elements. You don't have to worry about connecting your radio buttons, your select elements, your checkboxes. Inputflow does that for you. Just make sure that you don't mess with these attributes, don't delete them, don't modify them, and everything will work as expected.